Okay, if we determine that we have a bad floppy drive, it's usually better to go ahead and replace the floppy drive than to try and fix one. These days, floppy drives are considerably inexpensive, and you're probably better off to just replace it, and that way probably even get a faster floppy drive than the one that originally came with the computer. Whenever we're going to get inside a computer, the first thing we need to do is turn off the computer, remove the power source from the computer, and then remove the cover. Then we'll unplug the data cable and the power cable from the old drive, and then unscrew and dismount the drive. Then we'll slide the new drive into the bay and reconnect the data cable and the power cable. They're all the same for floppy drives. And then close the computer up, turn the computer back on, check setup, and test the drive. We can also install an additional floppy drive if we find that we are constantly copying floppy drives. This could be a faster option to copy straight from one drive to another. Adding a new drive would require, number one, an empty bay to put the new drive in. This would require a bay that has a front opening so that we can put the disks in. An extra power cable coming off of the power supply, an extra connection on the floppy drive controller card. In other words, we've got to have a way to connect the data cable to the floppy drive. And once we have all of these requirements, then we'd simply slide the drive into the bay, screw it down, and then connect the cable and the power cable. Then when we restart, CMOS will recognize that there is now a new component in the system. At this point, we might even get an error saying that there is a new component that CMOS does not recognize, and would you like CMOS to reconfigure? In the newer systems, CMOS can then reconfigure the system to recognize the floppy drive. In older systems, we might have to get a software program, which would usually come with the floppy drive, to help the system to recognize that there's a new drive there and to give it the resources that it needs to work with the system. So next we'll discuss other options